Good evening. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm certainly in a much better frame of mind this evening. So, I was able to get a fair amount of sleep last night, and not bad. And, I'm in much less pain today. So, yeah, much better. Um, I think the biggest reason why I haven't changed out the intro song is because I can always count on that song and the video. It's not just the music; it's the imagery as well. It brings me back down. No matter where I'm at in a state of mind, it grounds me, and that's probably the biggest reason why I have not changed that at all thus far. And I might go in and I might redo it. I might replace the news clips and stuff like that with more current stuff. But the pictures of myself and my boys, I prefer to keep in there because it's the most I can do to affect their life in a positive way is fight for a better world to live in. I mean, at this point, that's really the only thing that I can do. And so, it's a reminder of why I fight and why I will continue to fight. I had an interesting issue when I signed off last night. As you guys know, I was in a rare form, and I signed off. And I'll be damned if I didn't look over on Facebook. Before I go to bed, I make sure I check everything, make sure everything's kosher. And I looked over on my Facebook, and there was quite a to-do about a post that was made in our local group. And, it was crazy because it was almost like the entire reason I started the group got thrown out the window because people got butthurt. And I was at a loss. I mean, seriously, I made a reply last night. I commented, I wished I would have screenshotted it or something, copied it and pasted it and something, whatever. But I didn't, and the gentleman, I guess, took his post down. And so, nonetheless, it was kind of one of those things to where I figured out I'll deal with it more tomorrow. And so that's what I chose to do. I chose today I actually made a video. But, the interesting thing is the page, it's a discussion page. And I don't limit that discussion. I don't limit it to only Highland. I don't limit it to only certain topics. I don't have taboo topics. It's a discussion group. So chances are high if it's an issue that might be controversial and get people excited, probably needs to be discussed. That's really the whole point. I would rather see people to learn to love one another, and I'm not trying to do some hippie thing with flowers in my hair or nothing, but I would much rather see people care for one another, even if they have differences of opinion. It used to be that wasn't a big deal. Now, today, holy cow. So, and the really interesting thing is, more directly about this man's post, is, for one, he didn't break any rules. Didn't even come remotely close to breaking any rules. And for two, what he said was accurate. I can't help that. I mean, if people don't want the truth to hurt, then maybe they need to, I don't know, convince those involved to try to do better, I guess. It had to do with Trump, and it had to do with, essentially it had to do with how his followers looked to him and thought of him as a savior, possibly the Messiah himself, reincarnate, I guess. I don't know. I've always thought that line of thought was nonsense. if you read the book, you'll understand real quick that there's not a whole lot of people on this planet that the Father would give the stamp of approval, and it damn straight's not going to be a major businessman or woman or a politician. I mean, come on, let's be realistic here. So yeah, I thought those claims were nonsense myself from the beginning, and he wasn't wrong. I don't know. Where I think, my personal opinion, where he goes a little off base is the claims of Trump being racist. And I'm still, you guys know me. I'm not one of those people that I'm not going to pander to one side or another. I'm not going to close my eyes to the bad actions of one side because they're the side I want to agree with. No, it's not about that. We're in the process of dealing with, I guess, if I'm saying that correctly, Trump's place getting raided, okay? Y'all know I'm not a Trump fan at all. But what happened to him was absolute BS. Absolute BS. And, that's just the truth of the matter. And we shouldn't be, okay. And I know probably many of the people that watch this show are more conservative leaning. That's fine. The Democrats, the left, they shouldn't be okay with this. They should be calling their own to task. And I say the same thing for Red Team. This isn't just one. Both need to hold their own accountable. And I think largely that is where there's a disconnect in this nation. And that is why there is so much issue. Because nobody's being accountable. Nobody. And everybody's just projecting everything off onto the other person. And it's crazy. And we will never, ever be able to come to grips with anything as long as we do that. Is there an answer? I don't know. Apparently things like civil war and national divorce are trending. Man, I try to search for solutions, and to me that's about the simplest one is holding our own accountable. That would be a good start. But is it too late? I really have to ask that. Is it too late? I'll tell you what, if it's not too late, it's so close. But I have a feeling it's kind of late. We don't get me wrong, we could sew this nation back together. In fact, an event could sew this nation back together. If we got hit with some type of massive terror attack, honestly, I believe there would be a lot more people that would come together. I know there's a lot of people that would think that, oh no, it's going to be so much more chaos because, I don't know. See, people have been allowed to bullshit themselves to an extreme level. And as long as that bullshitting of thyself doesn't get checked, it just goes on and on and on. Well, what happens when you have some type of a major event like that is it clears that bullshit out of people's minds for a while, and they focus more on what's important. And that's why you saw right after 9/11, we didn't have near the division. Don't get me wrong, we lived in a much different world when 9/11 happened. But the unity that this nation felt after 9/11 was it's almost like magical. I mean, it was astounding. I don't know what word really to put on it. It was amazing. I had never felt more American in my life. And I had never felt more unity with other Americans in my life than right after 9/11. I saw just all kinds of general acts of kindness for people. Little things like people holding doors open for others and stuff like that. It was I mean, all of a sudden, everybody stopped and thought about how the other person mattered. And that's probably what we need again. Not that I'm calling on some type of, big event. Clearly not. But we need something, Howdy, Midnight Rider. Oh, man. The old sod. Would that is that something to do with Irish? It's pretty bad I have to ask with my last name, isn't it? I don't know much about my heritage, to be real honest. Very little at all. So, from what I hear, they like to get drunk a lot. I don't, but I think my dad did in his younger years before he recovered. Oh, man. But yeah, I think that we're looking at dark times in many different ways. My hope is, my hope is just that people are going to be able to make it. That's my biggest concern. I mean, it's not about, I'm not even thinking so much about us. Although I'm concerned with us making it as well. But I have a lot of compassion for other people, and I don't know how some people are going to be able to make it. I mean, the bills are just going to swallow them. Oh, okay. Well, maybe we do call you that. I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. I'd never actually heard that one before, but I'd really never heard much of anything about Irish other than they like to drink. But that's stereotyping, and I mean, whether or not it's true doesn't matter. No, that's really about the only thing I've heard about the Irish. So, oh man, but yeah, it's crazy going on around the world. I don't have a whole lot of tabs open today. I only have 4. I don't know. I looked down through the list as I was putting tabs up to discuss. It's just like I feel like covering a lot of it, while not necessarily repetitive, the information itself, but not really a lot of movement from where it was before, if that makes any sense. So it's like, well, I don't want to put up just a bunch of little stuff. And apparently, though, the United States is hesitant about sending more HIMARS over to Ukraine. From one of the articles I read, apparently they want to focus more on like the ammunition. But if Russia keeps knocking them out, I mean, anyway, I don't know where that's going to go. It seems like it could very well be spinning up and expanding. I think we're going to know on that real quick. Like, I think we're going to see other actors, if you will, get involved, other countries get involved. We'll see. If another country, if China or Iran or North Korea has asked to be involved, if any one of those countries starts sending troops over there to help out the Russians, I'm pretty sure that immediately, other nations, NATO essentially, will be starting to put their troops in. So I think that'll be just a quick switch right there. So just keep an eye on that. And think if there's anything else throughout the day. We had the power outage today, and as per what I said in the video, it wasn't very much longer after I did that video that sure enough power came back up and we were good to go. So I was down to 90% on the EcoFlow Delta 1300. And then I was down to 89% on the EcoFlow River. And, of course, I just charged them right back up real quick and put them right back away. So, but it took me about, I would say, 5 minutes from the time the power went out, from the time I had everything that I showed on the video up and running. Maybe about 5 minutes. Didn't take very long. But wow, it sounded like somebody was standing right outside the window and blasted a shotgun. That's exactly what sound it was. It was like, holy cow. And I went outside, and there was another neighbor that lives close by, and he was driving around in his truck. We were trying to figure out which one went up. So didn't see anything smoking or anything like that. I think it was a squirrel. Got in between two places he shouldn't have been, and became a fried delicacy for some. It didn't take them that long. I figured they just had to replace the fuse. They got it right back up. They're good here. In my opinion, I think they're pretty good here. Anywho, let's see. Is there any more? I don't think I know of anything more with that. It was cloudy today, or else I would have pulled the panels out. I would have pulled those out right away and started getting those hooked up as well the moment that I had the power going in here. But it was cloudy, so I didn't do that. And I just, it's not that I would think that I would need it. Like, oh my God, this is it. We're never going to get power back. No, not anything like that. But it's good practice. So, and I found one hole in my electrical situation. I've got a switch up here on my desk. And that switch was not connected into the UPS. And so, even though the UPS kept the whole desk up, that one component on the desk was not hooked in through that switch, or through that UPS, and so lost power to that. So, found a hole, fixed the hole. But, that's why it's important to test and check your stuff and make sure everything's in order. But yeah, it was fun. Well, not for the squirrel, but I guess it's all about perception and whether or not your ass got roasted. But anyway, more on to the news. Sorry. I know, I made up. Google data center has electrical explosion causing injuries. I don't think this was a squirrel. A section inside a Google data center experienced an electrical explosion late Monday night, injuring workers in a small town just outside Omaha, Nebraska. The explosion at the data center in Council's Bluff, Iowa, caused injuries to 3 employees, local officials said. 3 workers were accessing an electrical cabinet when there was an arc flash that resulted in all 3 being burned. Justin James, the fire chief in Council Bluffs, told CBS Money Watch. All were transported to the trauma center for care. I'm curious because, wow, that's a lot of power if it did that. A company spokesperson said in a statement Tuesday that Google experienced outages in its search engine yesterday, but they were due to an internal error unrelated to the incident in Iowa. We're aware of a software update issue that occurred late this afternoon Pacific time and briefly affected availability of Google Search and Maps, and we apologize for the inconvenience, a Google spokesperson said. Data centers are large buildings that house dozens of supercomputers and servers typically used to store and process information people generate while working on their personal computers. Google has 14 data centers in the U.S., including a second one in the Omaha suburb of Papillion, Nebraska. An arc flash is a sudden burst of light and heat that happens when a powerful electrical current travels through a conductor, misses its intended destination, and ends up on the ground. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of probably a poor way of putting it. I'll explain in a second. The heat emitted from the arc flash can get as high as 35 thousand degrees Fahrenheit, according to the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. So, in my opinion, that was kind of a poor way to put it, because when they say and ends up on the ground, it really doesn't tell you the possibilities or how it's likely going to happen. It basically uses your body for the ground. So, yeah, I mean, it does end up on the ground, but that might be through you, and I just kind of wanted to clarify that. First responders went to the Council Bluffs data center at around midnight after being told there was a large explosion. Council Bluffs Fire Department Assistant Chief Jim Wood told the Omaha World Herald. The Council Bluffs data center was built in 2007 and now employs more than 900 people, according to the company's corporate website. That's a fair amount of people, yo. So yeah, kind of crazy. That's some juice going through there. I'm really curious as to what kind of voltage they were dealing with, because yikes. You know, you're talking supercomputers though. And if I'm not mistaken, they need lakes and stuff like that to even cool the things. That's what I've been told. I don't know 110% positive there, but that's what I've been told. It's quite the deal. And while we're on the subject of power, UK power supply under threat, says Guardian. And of course, you know, we've been hearing this quite a bit here recent, and I think for a reason, because I think come winter, they're going to be hurting. And I don't, by the way, think we're going to be in any different situation. I think by winter, we're probably going to be hurting as well. I mean, this stuff that's going on, in the, what do they call it, the inflation bill or whatever the hell that thing is, has nothing to do with helping the inflation. In fact, it has everything to do with making the inflation worse. Spending more money, printing more money, and then adding what? What was it? I can't remember. 70-something, 80-something thousand new IRS workers. And, you know, there are several people that's already pointed it out. I don't need to, but, you know, this isn't about going after the 700 and something billionaires. This is about going after us. And I just want to remind people that, you know, they just put this new thing in when it comes to like PayPal and Venmo and all that stuff. There's a lot of people that's going to be watched a lot closer that have been using those forms of payment. And I really think that that's what all those extra people are for. I think they're going to basically go through people's accounts. Anybody that goes over the amount, which, what was it, $600, and then they said they were going to change it and then didn't. They're not going after billionaires, folks. And there's a lot of people that say they're going after the middle class. Well, yeah, they're going to get caught up in it. Not going to deny that. But they're going after further than that. They're actually going after the poor people too. Because there are a whole lot of poor people that the only way that they're staying afloat is because they got side hustles. Because they've got stuff they sell on Etsy or whatever. Right? And all that is going to come home to roost. All of that. They're going to be looking at all of that. And there's going to be a lot of people that get audited now. And, man, I don't know. I know it's not a done deal, but to my knowledge, it's passed in the Senate. It's just got to go through the House. I don't think it's going to have any problem passing the House. I don't think this thing's going to have any problems passing. I think they're going to pass it right through. Why? Because it's not about us. It's about them. Doesn't matter which side of which wing of the bird you go with. It's not about us. I mean, if it was, clearly stuff like this would be stopped before it could get even remotely this far. Because there's nothing in there to help us. Nothing. Pretty much everything in that bill is going to harm us. It's mind-blowing. Anyway, more to the actual story at hand that's not about us. Norway may reduce electricity exports to the UK due to low water levels that threaten domestic hydroelectric power output. The Guardian newspaper reported on Monday, citing Oslo's Petroleum and Energy Minister Terje Asland. I probably said that wrong. According to the report, Asland told the Norwegian parliament on Monday that water levels in the country reservoirs were falling below the seasonal average due to dry weather, and Norway should prioritize refilling water dams over power production and exports. Asland said electricity production in southern Norway has already dropped 18% compared to last year, while output last week in the southwest was the lowest so far this year. This results in historically high electricity prices and a situation where, for the first time in many years, we cannot completely rule out a period of electricity rationing in the spring. He was quoted as saying, the minister noted that rationing was unlikely this winter, but interruptions to supplies are expected next April or May. The situation is likely to affect the UK, which receives hydropower from Norway via the North Sea Link cable, able to carry up to 1.4 gigawatts of electricity, enough to power about 5% of UK households. If Norway does ration its power exports, UK customers could face even higher bills and potential energy shortages this winter, the report states, citing consultancy firm Aurora Energy Research. Analysts predict that in such a scenario, the UK national grid would have to switch on two coal-fired plants, Drax in West Yorkshire, wow, I can't say any of this, and EDF's West Burton, a facility in, oh my goodness, Nottinghamshire, which are currently on standby. I mean, like Nottinghamshire, Smithsonville, right? This would cause power prices in the UK to rise due to the higher cost of generating power using coal compared to hydropower imported from Norway, the Aurora researchers said. The UK gas and electricity price cap for households, which is set quarterly by the energy industry regulator Ofgem, last month reached a record £1,971 or $2,390 per year. However, Aurora analysts say this figure could top £4,000 or $4,847 early next year. So, not looking good for you folks over there. And it's really, to be honest, not looking any better for us over here. I mean, right now, our energy companies are trying to put all their eggs in the exporting LNG basket. I mean, God, I almost hate to say it, but we need somebody. Let me maybe cheat. We need somebody with Trump's business mind in office. I'm not going to say we need Trump back. I am not going to say we need Trump back. Nah, sorry. After the encouragement of the red flag laws, now I want you to think about this. I was a strong supporter when he came out with the Right to Try Act. Very strong supporter, because hell yeah, that just makes sense to me. To me, that's the only compassionate thing to do. But isn't it awful interesting that was needed in order to do what they did with the COVID vaccine? So just how far ahead was he preparing for that? Just food for thought. I'm not saying anything's a fact, but I damn well have to ask the question. Let's see. Buyer rejects Ukrainian grain cargo, says media. When I saw this headline, my jaw literally dropped open. I'm like, what? This is stupid. The first grain cargo to leave Ukraine's newly reopened ports has been rejected by a buyer in Lebanon due to a 5-month delay in shipment, Bloomberg reported on Monday. According to the outlet, citing Ukraine's embassy in Beirut, the Sierra Leone-flagged vessel in Rizoni, which loaded with about 26,500 tons of corn, is currently in the Mediterranean. The Lebanese government reportedly is not involved with the shipment, as the cargo was bound for the private sector. A new buyer is being sought for the grain in Lebanon or elsewhere, according to the Ukrainian embassy. The vessel's destination changed on Sunday from Tripoli to awaiting orders, ship tracking data showed. The Rizoni was the first civilian freighter to carry Ukrainian grain via the Black Sea in months. Regular shipments were blocked amid hostilities between Russia and Ukraine, who blamed each other for the disruption. The agreement between Russia and Ukraine for restarting sea exports was negotiated last month with the help of Turkey and the UN. Turkey is also hosting a special center to coordinate shipping under the deal, which includes representatives from Moscow and Kiev. Their job is to inspect vessels to prevent the smuggling of weapons in or out of the conflict zone. So I just found that interesting that they would reject it, and there could be, a number of reasons, but I thought that everybody was hurting for this stuff so bad. I thought. That's what we're being told, right? I mean, if we're facing worldwide food shortages, I would think that this would be kind of important. Crazy. I think there are a lot of games being played, and I think there are a lot of citizens' needs being ignored while the politicians play games. And then this, I put this as part of the headline. This is what Taiwan's saying. I don't know. I'm not saying that they're preparing for an invasion. I don't know. I have no clue. I just kind of copied the headline here. I didn't have room to add the Taiwan, so. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you it's not. I'm not going to tell you it is. Not. I'm just going to read you the article. Because I was wrong about Russia and Ukraine. And I don't want to purposely be wrong about that kind of stuff. China is using its large-scale militarily exercises, I think that's worded wrong, around Taiwan to prepare for an invasion of the self-governed island, Taipei's foreign minister Joseph Wu claimed on Tuesday. China has used the drills in its military playbook to prepare for the invasion of Taiwan, Wu said during a press conference. Let's see. Beijing is engaging in large-scale military exercises and missile launches as well as cyber attacks, a disinformation campaign, and economic coercion in order to weaken public morale in Taiwan, the diplomat said, or insisted. China launched war games including live fire drills in 6 maritime areas around Taiwan last week in response to U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to the island. Hang on, stuff's going nuts. According to the minister, the drills were being conducted in the Taiwan Strait on Monday, despite Beijing earlier saying that they would conclude over the weekend. China's real intention is to alter the status quo in the Taiwan Strait, an entire region, he claimed. Wu labeled the exercises a gross violation of Taiwan's rights and an attempt by Beijing to take control of the waters around Taiwan and the wider Asia-Pacific. The minister was speaking after Taipei staged its own live-fire drills simulating defense against an attack on the island. The Chinese Defense Ministry said on Monday that the military was continuing its exercises in the waters and airspace around the island of Taiwan, mainly focusing on anti-submarine and air-to-sea assault operations. That goes into Pelosi's trip and all the other stuff. So, again, I'm not going to say whether they will or won't. I'll tell you what my opinion is of what I think they're doing. I think they're antagonizing the United States. I think they're seeing if the United States will respond. And I have a feeling that, in the very least, they will continue exercises, at least in the short term, to see if that they can rile us up. And it's probably not going to be hard to do, because it seems to me like this administration wants to be riled up. So, who knows? Who knows where it's going to go? Keep doing the same thing I've been saying all along. Keep getting ready. Keep poking at it. No matter how big, no matter how small, keep at it, you know? It pays off. It does pay off. Even if you can only do a little bit at a time, you have to start somewhere. The whole trick is starting. And that's true with anything. So if you haven't started, if you're worried, if you're looking at the mountain going, there's no way I can do it, don't. Try to figure something out. Try to figure out some way. I know. I just sat here in pain because I didn't have the money to buy ibuprofen. I know. I get it. I do get it. When you get the chance, try to put back anything that you possibly can. You know? If you've got food banks around you, and you don't need to currently use food from food banks in order to get by, maybe go that route so that you got a little bit of stuff, you know? And instead of getting the pasta and the whatever it is that the food banks got for you, take that money and put it in towards getting your rice or whatever, you know, you choose to go with. I've long said, and I know the prices are going up on everything, but, you know, stuff like Chef Boyardee, in my opinion, are excellent choices, especially for the short term. I got to get something in my food storage now. You know, I think stuff like Chef Boyardee and other types of canned goods, I think, are excellent choices, and usually come up with some pretty good deals. What? Yeah, I had the spinning wheel here too, so I don't know how long I went out. That was weird, but I got a spinning wheel for a little while, so hang in there. I believe we're back up. Yeah, Leo said rice and dried beans are cheap. Exactly, you know. And then my thoughts is those, say, cans of Chef Boyardee, mix it in with a little rice, right? A can of Chef Boyardee may only be good for one person for one meal. But you mix some rice in it, and you're going to have two people. You know? I mean, that's why we ordered the black bean burger stuff. Right? Because we can put that with rice. I've still got to put it in there somehow, somewhere. But I got a 20-pound sack of rice behind me that I got to get in there yet. To add to our other rice. And when we do grocery shopping again, guess what? We're going to get 20 or possibly even 40 pounds more. So just to keep adding to it. Just whatever you can when you can. That's all you can do. You know? Just don't give up. That's the one thing you can't do. Give up. Anywho. Trying to think if there's anything else before we run through these headlines and I jiggy out the back door. Like, literally, I gotta take trash out tonight. And then tomorrow I get to do the yard. Yay! Fun time. Now, actually, I look forward to that. I'm probably gonna shoot a video of that saw that I've got, that Corona saw that I was telling you guys about and showed you. I'm probably going to do a video on that just so you guys see it in action. That's the only one I have. I don't have any Silkies or anything like that to compare it to. And, you know, there was a Silky that was like $10 more than that one. roughly the same size and stuff. Now, as to which one's better, I don't know. I'm not going to run and say Silky's the better one because that's what, seems to be the popular choice. I don't know. I will tell you, I'm not super impressed with the handle on this Corona one I have. It may last fine for a while. I don't know. Why? Because I haven't used it. I think I've used that to cut one thing, and it was just something small, and I was just checking it out. Tomorrow won't be what I would call a good test on it, but tomorrow will certainly be more of a test. I'll get some video of it and show you guys how it works out. But how it will stack up to a Silky, I don't know, and it depends on a lot of different factors on the saw you're looking for. This saw here has very aggressive teeth. And that's what I wanted. I wanted something with aggressive teeth. I don't know how aggressive the teeth are on the Silky. I have no idea. So, but yeah, I got to do the mowing too. Got to mow the yard. Got to get the sticks cleaned up, and then hopefully we switch sanitation companies here apparently, and hopefully next week when they come by, they'll come by and get my lawn stuff. So I normally don't put out lawn stuff because I normally don't have lawn stuff to put out. So, but I'm hoping. Last summer, they never picked it up. We tried a couple of times to get them to come by and pick up the lawn stuff, and they never did. So, new company, I hope better attitudes. So anyway, let me run through the headlines here after I get a sip of coffee, because that's in the contract. Hey, don't argue it. Don't argue with a man and his Sharpie. Jim's over here laughing. I don't know why. That wasn't ridiculous, was it? Alright. U.S. recovers lost fighter jet. That would be that F-18 Super Hornet that kind of just flopped off the deck into the sea. Massive blaze spreads at Cuba oil depot. I think it was weather, by the way, that was blamed for that. It's not like the plane just decided to start hopping around. And China's exports to Russia soar, says data. China preparing for invasion, said, I've covered that. UK sees new inflation-driven cash withdrawal record. Not good. You know the other term for that? Bank run. Trump raid makes U.S. banana republic. Says a governor, I would agree. In fact, I saw a flag somebody shared today on Facebook where it was, the red and white bars, and then where the stars were at, it was bananas. Thought that was pretty accurate. Let's see. Historic French site bans all Russians, says AFP. A Polish PM has no time for Boris Johnson, says Bloomberg. Pardon me. This coffee's got me belching. Pentagon comments on new HIMARS deliveries to Ukraine. I spoke on that a little bit. That's the article I was speaking to. Strong ruble draws foreign workers to Russia. Ukraine halts Russian oil supply to the EU. UK power supply. I did cover that one. EU member state proposes total travel ban for Russians. Poland to deploy all cannons to get money from Brussels, says top official. Erdogan and Assad may hold Putin-brokered talks, says Turkish media. Zelensky using Hitler's playbook, says former Russian president. EU country accused of genocide over threats to skaters performing in Russia. EU carrier to resume flights to Russia from UAE. Russia destroys hundreds of U.S.-made rockets in Ukraine, says Ministry of Defense. Which is why we probably need to send them a bunch more, with the $1 billion that was allocated. Russian exclave exhausts EU goods transit limits. You know, what did the, does anybody remember what the care package cost offhand? If anybody remembers, say so in the chat. I no clue. I can't remember. I can't remember what the care thing cost. Just curious though. Let's see. Explosions reported near air base in Crimea. Germany's largest crematorium comes up with plan to cope with high gas prices, and their plan is to start running 24/7. You know, because that way they don't have to shut the ovens down and cool them off and then turn around and heat them back up. That takes a considerable amount of gas. So if they just go to a 24/7 schedule and keep them running, then that's going to be more efficient as far as gas usage. My question is there's this whole supply and demand thing when it comes to dead bodies. How are they going to make sure they meet the supply to keep those puppies running 24/7? That kind of makes me wonder. Let's see. Russian military comments on blasts in Crimea. Zelensky's aide calls counterattack claims part of Kiev's information warfare. One death in Crimea blast, says governor. U.S.-Russia trade continues to plunge, says Census Bureau. Kremlin comments on calls to ban Russians from the EU. Russian envoy predicts U.S. goal in Ukraine. Pelosi reflects on her Taiwan trip. She can remember it. EU balks at Russia travel ban. Did I say that? I didn't mean to say. Okay, I meant to say it. EU country offers solution to resume Russian oil supply. Palestinian official assassinated at Lebanon refugee camp. Johnson compared job to a steel condom. I'm just reading the headlines, man. You know, when that headline came out and I was trying to share it out, Twitter, I guess, was down for a short time today or something, because there was probably about a 20-minute 30-minute period or so I couldn't post. It wouldn't let me post anything, and I couldn't bring up Twitter either. So anywho, that was right when I kept trying to share that, and I actually went on to the next story because I had like 3 that I had to put out, and I went on to the next one because I'm like, okay, well, is Twitter just maybe blocking the word steel condom or something? Several blasts rock Crimea. Republicans vow to investigate FBI's Trump raid. But nothing's going to ever happen with it. I mean, that's the sad truth of it. Investigate all you want. I mean, come on. Look at what we already know. Hillary servers and all. I mean, look at what we already know. I mean, record rainfall leaves 11 dead in South Korea. Twitter blocks Russian Foreign Ministry's account. NATO actions raise risk of nuclear conflict, says Russia. Poll shows impact of January 6 probe on U.S. public opinion. Israeli troops fatally shoot 2 Palestinian teens, says Health Ministry. Ukraine grain going anywhere but Africa, says the media. Activists claim U.S. school lunches are racist. I don't know. You got me. Well, okay, we got to know. I didn't read this article because I just thought it was just that stupid. But let's I guess, go be stupid. Dozens of U.S. race and food activist groups have reportedly signed on to a letter accusing the federal government of dietary racism in its program for free or subsidized food lunch or school lunches, saying the USDA is forcing millions of non-white, lactose-intolerant children to drink cow's milk. The National School Lunch I mean, we're already good there. You good? I'm good. First paragraph. I mean, The biggest problem is with that is they only you know, milk is white, and they're offering the milk from all the white cows, and they're not offering any milk from the brown cows. So they don't have chocolate milk to choose from. They only have the white milk to choose from, because if they only get it from the white cows, there's no brown cows. So yeah, that's racist. That's racist. Maybe we need to stop this nonsense of ew, getting milk from a cow. Maybe we just need to go to getting milk from the store, right? Why can't we just all go to the store and get milk? That'll work. I don't know. I got no answers. That's what I'm saying, and that's why I get frustrated last night, or like last night, and it's come to a point to where it's so stupid and idiotic that the only thing that we're going to be able to do is push it away and say no. And I guess maybe that would go more along the line with national divorce, I guess. That's what we need to do. We need to say, look, you guys are going to make up all this crap, right? 70-something genders and cow's milk is racist. And, if you're going to make all this stuff up, okay, good, but do it over there. Do it over there. Maybe national divorce is a good answer. I don't know. I would rather see something like that than I would civil war and bloodshed. But if Illinois is going to be a state that goes to the lefties, help. Help. Man, you better bet if it came to that and national divorce and we were forced, if we were going to be in Illinois, that we would be forced to be, we'd have to move. We'd figure something out real damn quick, I'll tell you that. Anyway, I am going to get out of here. I got to go take myself out, meaning the trash, and then go to bed. And hopefully I get some decent rest tonight. I imagine I will. So, anywho, I appreciate everybody coming. My apologies again last night for being a bit raw. And, I try. I also fail. Just part of life. Anyway, I am out of here. I appreciate y'all coming. Hope to see you tomorrow night. God willing, we'll be here. And with that, God bless you all. We love you all. And be one with your spirit. Shalom.